it tells us that 60% of people struggle with sleep during the holidays. That
Wow.
is amazing, 60%. And when we're tired, we get irritable, you don't think as clearly. So there's a lot that's impacted when we don't get enough sleep.
Today, we are talking about the holidays. My guest is going to talk about three simple ways to balance food, fitness, and sleep. And she says, this is your no regret holiday game plan. And with that, I want to welcome Kim Bailey to Chatting with the Experts.
Hi, Paula.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for being a guest today. And we know that you're going to be telling us and showing us and discussing with us three simple ways that we can balance and organize our lives with the food that we eat, with our fitness, and through sleep. Thank you so much for
Yes.
doing that.
Thank you, Paula, for inviting me. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is getting organized for the holiday before all the chaos begins. And, it's that time of year again. So excited for the holiday, the lights, the music, the traditions. And yet, I mean, if we're honest, the season can feel like a lot of pressure sometimes because there are so many things to do. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was in the store shopping and I saw Christmas decorations out.
Oh, my
We
Lord.
hadn't even made it to Halloween yet. And I
Mm.
stopped and I looked around and I thought, oh my gosh, already? So it was a reminder for me that the holiday is upon us and we really have to get ourselves prepared because we're already busy and now we're adding all these additional things we need to do, like the shopping, like the decorating, like the hosting parties and family gatherings and work gatherings and all the responsibilities we have. And so I want to talk about giving yourself a jump start before the holidays actually hit.
I get it because all those things you have talked about, getting food ready, the decorations, just preparing mentally for family coming in. Sometimes
Yes.
it can feel chaotic.
Yes. Hmm.
And I know one of
Well,
the things
mhm.
you do is help us, see some order within that chaos, right?
Yes, exactly right. So, as a professional home organizer, I'm dealing with clients, mostly women, who have accumulated a lot of things.
Mhm.
And now we're talking about adding more things onto their plate. And so, the holidays can be full of joy and connection and a time for memories, but they can also bring a lot of sugar-filled gatherings, right? Endless events to go to, overflowing schedules, and the silent pressure to just show up perfectly. And, before we know it, we're racing around instead of feeling the peace that is supposed to come with this holiday and be a part of this holiday. And I really find myself, a lot of times grabbing whatever food I can grab because I'm out shopping, I'm busy, skipping the exercise completely because I don't have time, and sleeping less, right? Because I'm busy, and then convincing myself, well, I'll get back to it, in January, which is when a lot of us set our New Year's resolutions that we don't keep for very long. So, what I want to talk about or share is just that we start to take a look at what's ahead of us and get ourselves prepared for it. One of my favorite sayings is get your house in order and your health on track because your wellness journey really does start at home.
Like that. Say that again. I need to write that down, in fact.
Yes.
Get
Your
your house
wellness
in
journey.
order
Yeah, get your house in order,
and your health on track
on track. Hmm.
because our
Your wellness
organization,
journey,
our longest journey, you said?
your
Wellness
wellness
journey.
journey starts at home.
Love it, love it, love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So let's talk
Yes.
about the wellness journey. Let's think about it. But before we even start that, Kim, I know off camera you mentioned how you even began this journey of organizing and helping women, filter through the chaos in their lives
Mm-hmm.
before holidays even start, and especially when the holidays start. Let's talk about you
Yes.
quickly.
Yes. Okay, well, as far as my health journey, I'll just talk about the reason I even got into organizing for your health. And that is because I was faced with the possibility of a major surgery that had all kinds of risk and complications and uncertainty. And, I realized that something had to change. And that change had to do with my food, my fitness, and my sleep. And so, it didn't happen overnight, but through intentional, small changes to my diet, exercise, and sleep, I started to recover.
Mm,
And I realized as I'm organizing, helping women get themselves organized, most of them want to start with the closet
yeah,
because they have so many clothes and want to be able to move quickly and find what they need. But what I realized in working with women is that a lot of times the pantry was a mess. They were on the go, eating on the run, driving through fast food to, get it as quickly as they could because the kitchen was a mess. And when your kitchen is chaotic, you can't cook healthy meals. When your movement, your exercise is not consistent, that causes a whole another set of problems. And then sleep. I found that that was the biggest issue that women had was not getting enough sleep. And we don't prioritize that often enough. And so those were the things that changed for me. When that changed, my health improved drastically. So that's why I want to share with women, these are some things that we can do that don't cost us any money. We can actually do this on our own and really start learning how to take care of ourselves.
that's a good one. That's a good one. It don't cost us much money or any money,
Yeah.
and it's all
Mm-hmm.
about taking care of ourselves. So let's start with
Mm-hmm.
the first thing. The holidays are coming, and we got so
Yes.
much to do. And
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, the kitchen may be in a mess, the pantry's in a mess. Tell us
Yes.
how we can organize from that. So, let's start with the food because a lot of the holidays centered around food. So, how can we
Yes.
be satisfied and not stuffed? Because as we talk about food, we talk about a lot of food, we talk about
Yeah.
feeling stuffed, and then
Yes.
we regret this afterwards. How can we find our sweet spot?
Absolutely. Well, that's exactly where I want to start with food because that is a big part of our holiday celebrations, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, one of the things I found that was interesting is that the research shows that holiday meals on average can be around 3,000 calories, and that's not including snacks and drinks.
Oh my God.
So the statistics show many people gain 1 to 3 pounds. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but the problem with that is that very few people lose that after the holiday. So it's just a reminder that, things show up gradually. It's not like, a really big amount of weight for most people, but it's hard to get it off. And most of us really want to figure out how to get ourselves healthier. And so this is a really good place to start. So in terms of your kitchen, getting that organized before all the cooking starts, it is a good idea to remove expired foods,
Hmm.
to take a look at clean out the fridge because you're going to have more food going in. Those are some of the things that are helpful for people to get in order. I think one of the most important things that I've learned and I've seen with my clients is that when you're not at a holiday meal gathering, to make sure you have healthy choices at home because we're going and going and going, but we are home. And it is important to have those healthy snacks. I usually don't tell people what to eat. People know what's healthy and what's not. So, but, eating a protein snack before you go to a gathering, having that at home so that you're not as hungry, you're not famished when you get there is really important. One of the things that has been really helpful is really just slowing down. They say, we eat pretty quickly, and so slowing down and digesting your food is
Wait,
really, really important.
when you say slowing down, you mean slowing down as in not rushing places, or you're talking specifically about food?
About food. So slowing down and
Oh,
tasting your food.
savoring your
Yeah.
food. All right.
Savoring, that's the word, savoring.
All right. I like
Yes.
that.
So I think the point of this is really to be able to enjoy the season and still feel good in your body, right? Not feeling like, oh gosh, I blew it. I shouldn't have, eaten this or that, or I ate too much. And we have so many temptations. So getting your mindset straight before you go into a situation is really important. And there's some very common suggestions that I'm sure most of us have heard, and that is, eat veggies first. When you go to an event, take a healthier dish when you go to an event. You
That's
know,
hard. That
yeah,
is
that's
hard.
hard. It's hard. It's possible though. It's possible,
Possible. Take a healthy
but
choice. When
hard.
you get there, all the things that you're like, okay, normally won't have this, but I'm here
Right,
at this event. Let me just have a
right.
teeny bit of it.
Right. Yes. Well, a teeny bit ends up being a lot once you get a little bit of everything. And
Yeah.
so one of the things I recommend people do is to walk around the entire table, all the food, and take a look and figure out what you're going to get.
Mm.
Right. And not have to get everything. And if you do want to taste everything, because I'm a taster, so I like getting a little bit of everything, I literally will get a spoonful of something and like, okay, I know I can't eat all this macaroni and cheese, even though this is like looking so good. So yeah, so really planning what you put on your plate and having more veggies than the other stuff and eating that first. I think one of the other things that happens around food and drinks is people are consuming more alcohol. We know
Mhm.
that has a ton of calories, most alcohol. So one of the things that suggested is that people get their beverages in order and not only drink alcohol, but make sure you're drinking water and staying hydrated. Hydration is really important. So getting all of those things in order are really important. The other thing that's very helpful related to food is snacking.
Mhm.
So I get my snacks in order when I'm going out shopping. I have a lunch bag, I put an ice pack in there, and I have my snacks. So if I'm at the mall, I don't have to stand in line for whatever the pizza is, whatever they have there. And I am perfectly satisfied with that. And so when I do go to a gathering, I'm like, okay, I ate healthy, today. So this evening when I go, it's okay. We're not talking about perfection, right? We're just talking about being aware, right, of what you are taking in as you go through the holidays.
So I'm going to stop you there. What
Hmm.
and I'm not sorry, it may sound rude, but I'm not stopping you because I think you're boring me, not in other ways. Because I'm just hearing and seeing a pattern there. What I'm hearing from you is when it comes to the holiday, where we know there's a lot of jubilation, food, excess of
Yes,
things that probably we shouldn't be eating, we need to
yes,
start by organizing our thoughts and
yes,
planning even our meals before we leave the house, planning what we
yes,
probably should have eaten before we leave for that gathering so that we don't get there hungry.
yes.
Instead, we get there, somewhat already full because we have
Hmm.
organized our day or our pre-gathering eating.
That pre-gathering eating. Yes, that's a good way to say it.
Like that.
Yes.
Another thing I
Yes.
heard too is, and even now come back to
Mhm.
the home, before the holidays, organize your kitchen and your pantry if you can. Look for all
Yes.
the expired things, throw them away, put away
Mhm.
or get rid of the things that you know are not really healthy, that you just put in there like a whole bag of chips. I like chips.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and other non-healthy things and bring out the healthier things so that
Yes.
you're not overwhelmed, in fact, with a cluttered kitchen or a cluttered pantry because you've gotten rid of the things that you know are either not healthy or have expired and shouldn't be there.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Okay, dokie. All right. Let's talk next about fitness. You know,
Yes.
you mentioned these things go hand in hand. So we're eating right, organizing everything in terms of food. Now let's talk about the body, fitness,
Mm.
how to
Yes.
organize for the holidays so that we don't end up after the holidays regretting.
Right. Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you. So I love statistics. So what I found is that physical activity drops during the season. That's no
Mhm.
surprise. Want to take a guess at what percentage of people don't keep up their holiday routine?
Let me take a guess.
Their exercise routine during the holiday, excuse me.
70%?
That's actually high. The people who admitted it, the studies show that 25% of people don't keep up their exercise routine. And so that means only 1 in 5 people maintain their normal routines. But, during the holidays, we have so many other things added to our schedule. We do not have to have a 2 hour workout every day. That's not what we're talking about.
Mm.
Really, what your body needs is the consistency, right? So we're
Consistency.
eating more, right? And we're moving less, which is not a good combination. So we're talking about some suggestions and things that have been helpful is, taking a walk after dinner. This is something that's been suggested to us all along, not just for the holidays.
Mhm.
Making sure we stretch in the morning and in the evening. And one of the fun things I like to do is put on music and dance or move, while I'm cleaning or cooking or whatever. And so that makes it a little bit more fun. And then just short movements throughout the day, just getting up, stretching, moving some really helps to keep you energized. So this is not like something you should feel pressured about or guilty about. This is something that you need for your body to keep your body feeling good.
Yeah, so we know that. But do we do it? How can we organize? Give us some tips on how
Yes.
we can organize our exercise so that it's not overwhelming because we're already feeling overwhelmed with the holidays coming.
That's right. So, one of the things that we want to do is get our exercise gear ready so
Good
that we have it.
point.
That's, your tennis shoes, your water bottle, part of the hydration, and what you're going to wear. Just having that ready. And one of the things that's helpful is I know last year I had a family gathering and we were sitting around, all stuffed. And I wanted to talk with one of my cousins I hadn't seen for a while. And so I said, let's go take a walk. And she was like, now? And I said, yes, now. And so one of my other cousins said, well, can I go? And I said, sure. So we walked. And that was really nice. The weather was nice. Sometimes if the weather's not nice, that's a little bit harder to do. But
Mhm.
we went for a walk and talked and felt better after we got back. And so it's really important to get that movement in, however you do it.
You know, now that you said that, that could also be something that people can plan, weather permitting. Like, okay, we're going to eat, but we're going to have a
Yes.
time of walking afterwards and catch up that way,
Yeah.
depending on where
Mm-hmm.
you live.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. That's great. That's great. I mean, we talk about doing it, but sometimes if you don't plan these things or build it into your plan, into your routine, then you're going to
Mm-hmm.
fail at it. So,
Yes.
it's probably good to say like, okay, Thanksgiving for us here in the United States, you eat and then go for a walk. And then
Yes.
in the late and during Christmas, for those who celebrate Christmas, you open your gifts. So if that's one of the traditions you do, and probably build in the exercise into whatever. Because somebody was saying you can even stand in one spot and then,
Yes.
movement, movement,
You
movement.
can. Yeah, well, we love music. So, one of the things I know we did with the kids one year is we put on some music and everybody, the kids were dancing. We were like, we should be moving too. So we had a dance party, an impromptu dance party. So I think all those things, make it easier and fun. So we're not talking about, hiking or anything like that. And the goal is really not for weight loss or anything like that. It's really for digestion, right? To help your food digest better and to feel better and be energized by it. I think, one of the other things as it relates to exercise is really try to maintain some type of routine. And it really requires scheduling, right? I mean, you really have to like put it in your calendar. And one of the things that we've heard is, park your car further away. When
Yeah.
you go to the mall, a lot of us are driving around and around trying to find the closest parking space when
Mhm.
actually we need to
Mhm.
go ahead and park.
I had to tell myself that recently, like, I
Yeah.
was driving around and say, God, help me find a park. And it's like, no, walk, you can walk.
Yes, yes, that is what a lot of us do. And then we get mad because somebody's taking too long to pull out of a space.
Yeah,
So it's like, no, you need to just go, park further away so
further
that you can
away.
walk and get some exercise in, right? And the other thing we've heard too a lot, which is, some of these are just reminders that we know, but we haven't really practiced.
Mhm.
And that is to take the stairs, wherever
Yes.
we go when we go somewhere. So that's really helpful as well. So those are just some things about movement and keeping your body and your spirit in rhythm.
I like that. Body and
Yes.
spirit in rhythm. Yeah, they do
Mm-hmm.
go hand in hand. And
Mm-hmm.
what about now sleep, rest?
Sleep.
How
Yes.
to, as you said, you mentioned this catch some Z's
Yes.
this holiday
How to catch
season.
some Z's. That is another really difficult thing for people to do. Our nights are longer, we're up later, and so I want to mention, as I did with the other two, what the statistics say.
Mhm.
It tells us that 60% of people struggle with sleep during the holidays. That
Wow.
is amazing, 60%. And, when we're tired, we get irritable, you don't think as clearly. So there's a lot that's impacted when we don't get enough sleep. And the other really important thing that I've learned is the lack of sleep can really increase your cravings for high calorie foods. They say by 30% the next day.
You can
And
see
I
me
know,
sighing. You can see me
yeah,
sighing like, yeah, I agree.
yes,
You wake up and you're
yes.
like, if I can just get some sugar now, give me that buzz.
That's exact the sugar. That's the thing, right? That's what we want. So that's what our body's craving. So I know I found myself up working late, like, okay, tonight I just got to work late. And then around midnight, I'm like, I'm getting kind of hungry,
Mm.
and I'm not looking for carrots. So I'm looking,
Tell us the truth now. Yeah. Who's looking for carrots
you
at
know,
midnight
looking for some
for
chips.
chips?
Yeah. Cookies, something, So, yeah, so that's the other issue with not getting enough sleep. There are a lot of issues, but fewer than 7 hours of sleep disrupts our hunger hormones and it impacts our blood sugar.
Okay.
So, there are a lot of reasons to make sure we get enough sleep.
Mhm.
And well, a couple of ways you do that because it's tough during the holidays is to try to keep a consistent bedtime and waking time whenever possible,
Mhm.
right? That is hard to do because we are out more and things are going on and we're participating in activities.
Mhm.
But hopefully it's not every night, so you can kind of resume a normal schedule.
Mhm.
The other big thing is limiting screen time, right? Your Facebook, your phones, your laptops, your computers, because
Mhm.
that stimulation before sleep really it disrupts your sleep.
Okay.
So that is important. I think, having a wind down ritual where you're winding down is really important. And so the advice from the experts is that you turn off everything an hour before you're ready to go to bed and do something like, read a book. which rarely, I mean, I have my books on my phone, which through Audible. So, but I do have real books. So, and to really set your bedroom up, I find that a lot of my clients have a lot of stuff in their bedrooms, a lot of clothes and things on the bed. Right? There's clothes on the bed, there's books, whatever you were doing, papers on the bed, really to get that clear and to make sure that your bedding is comfortable. The lighting is dark. I mean, the lighting should not be showing through and keeping you awake. So turning off the lights. Sometimes when people are trying to get through the holidays and they're not having enough sleep, they might have to take a nap. And, the recommendation is no longer than 20 minutes
Wait.
for a nap.
Don't have during the day, your nap shouldn't be more than 20 minutes.
Yes, if you take a nap,
Okay, I love
a
my
short nap.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, because once you go past that, then you're going to disrupt your sleep for the evening.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah.
So
Your body does so much.
Go ahead.
Your body does so much repair work, rejuvenation when you get sleep. And so it's rare in just my conversations with my clients that they are getting, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's more like 5 or 6 because there's so many responsibilities. Some of us just have sleep issues. Menopause is a big part of this as well, which I'm glad we're starting to have conversations about that because it definitely impacts us.
It does. It does. So, wow. You have brought us through 3 things that we can do, 3 ways that we can organize ourselves during this upcoming holiday period so that we don't feel the chaos is overwhelming. And you talk to us on how we can, in terms of food, start with your pantry and your kitchen, clear out all the unnecessary things, expired things, and unhealthy things. And, if you're going out shopping or whatever you're going out to do for the holidays, even organize a snack or your snacks so that you get to, your gathering. If you're going for a party, you don't get there hungry. And also, if it's not a party, even if you're going to the mall, you're not tempted by those beautiful, lovely, scents that waft through the mall.
Yes.
Those pretzels that smell so good.
Oh, yeah.
And other things that smell too good for us. So that's one way. Fitness, park far so you can walk to your mall, to wherever it is. And even if it's 20 minutes after a family gathering or, plan on going for a walk after you've eaten. So eat and walk to burn off those calories. And I'm just trying to recount what you said because I need to incorporate them into my lives. And then the sleep. We know it's a busy time, so declutter your bed.
Yes.
If you have to nap, make it no longer than 20 minutes so it doesn't disrupt your sleep cycle. And probably put a timer to count down to your bedtime and have little or no, like light shining through, like put on, what do they call it? You can have these blackout curtains in your
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Those are some good tips. Anything else that I've left out that you think would be relevant for those who have joined us or those listening afterwards?
Yeah, just that, your schedules are going to fill up fast. We know that your emotions are running high. There's so many expectations, and really plan ahead to support yourself, right? And make sure that you're not one of those many people who get to January and say, oh my gosh, I gotta, set my, my New Year's goals. And the number one goal is to lose weight. To get healthy. So you can get a jump start on that by getting yourself organized for the holidays. We know it's coming, right? And we know we're going to be busy. I think one of the other things is that people's schedules get overloaded, and saying yes to everything might not be the healthiest thing you can do. And I had so many events to attend last year. My group of girlfriends, we decided, you know what, we can't get together in December. Let's do New Year's. And it was so much fun. So we celebrated in the new year, I think the second week of January, we celebrated.
Wow.
And that was a really nice thing.
How can people follow you online or engage with you online if they are not already in the audience? Because this is a global show.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I have my LinkedIn profile, which is Kim Bailey, MBA, M for Mary, B for boy, A for apple.
Okay.
And then I also have a Facebook group,
Okay.
and you can find me there. And also my website is hellowellnessorganizing.com. And part of being in good health and having a good life and getting ready for the next chapter is getting yourself organized so that you can move freely, so that you can have the clarity you need and have a space that really supports your health.
And to that I say, amen. And for those of you who are listening in to this show or viewing it on YouTube, I know you have been totally blessed by what you heard Kim share with us in terms of organizing for the upcoming holidays. If you'd like to be a guest on this show, reach out to me on my website, which is chattingwiththeexperts.com. I'm on LinkedIn as Paula Okonneh. I'm also on Instagram. My handle there is @chat_experts_podcast. And I'm on Facebook as Paula Okonneh, and I have my Facebook business page, which is Chatting with the Experts. And last but not least, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Chatting with the Experts, because if you visit there, you'll find so much that you can learn from these amazing women and the few men that grace my show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And now, Kim, we'll open up the floor to all those who joined us so that they can, in turn, have an opportunity to speak with you one-on-one and interact with the other people who have joined. Because what you have shared is something that we all need to put into consideration, especially at this time of the year. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome. And now we open up the floor to those who have joined us. Thank you.